Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, good day. Welcome to Storytime with Uncle Scotty. We have our own mugs here. Hydration is very important. Welcome to Storytime with Uncle Scotty. I'm your host, Uncle Scotty, and I was just thinking that I feel like these days, a lot of time, right? A lot of things to do, not a lot of places to go. So what do we fill that time with? We could watch things, could play things, could make things, could read things, could write things, could listen to things. All those things, right? Move around, who knows? In the event that you like books, you like stories, but maybe you would rather listen to a story or watch a story, I thought I could read some stories. So I thought maybe every day-ish or so, I post a little video, we read a chapter or two of a book, and we go through that adventure together. And then when that adventure's done and that story's over, maybe we go through another one. I don't know, we'll have to see. Maybe when that one's done, we'll go through another one. Starting to sound fun now, isn't it? I know. So, put my reading glasses on because I can't see anything without them. Way better now. Okay, our first book, James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. Don't know if I'm saying his name right because it's such an odd name, isn't it? Roald. For the purposes of this experience, let's focus less on him and more on this story. Now, you may have heard this story before. You may know this story really well. You may have seen the movie. You may love it. You may have no idea what it is. I don't know. I think we can all enjoy this time together, though. Now, I thought this would be a fun book to start with because it, too, is about a group of people-ish who are isolated, far away from everyone else. And they're on an adventure in a small enclosed space. And what happens there? Who knows? We'll find out together. So why don't we start this book, huh? Okay, let's see here. James and the Giant Peach. James and the Giant Peach. Kidding. Okay. Chapter 1. Until he was 4 years old, James Henry Trotter had a happy life. He lived peacefully with his mother and father in a beautiful house beside the sea. There were always plenty of other children for him to play with, and there was the sandy beach for him to run about on, and the ocean to paddle in. It was the perfect life for a small boy. Then, one day, James's mother and father went to London to do some shopping, and there a terrible thing happened. Both of them suddenly got eaten up, in full daylight, mind you, and on a crowded street, by an enormous, angry rhinoceros which had escaped from the London Zoo. Now, London is a big town in England, the United Kingdom, which is over in another country. Unless you are from London, then it's happening in your city. Now, as you can well imagine, this was a rather nasty experience for two such gentle parents. But in their long run, it was far nastier for James than it was for them. Their troubles were over in a jiffy. They were dead and gone in 35 seconds flat. Poor James, on the other hand, was still very much alive, and all at once he found himself alone and frightened in a vast, unfriendly world. The lovely house by the seaside had to be sold immediately, and the little boy, carrying nothing but a small suitcase containing a pair of pajamas and a toothbrush, was sent away to live with his two aunts. Aunties. Their names were Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker, and I am sorry to say they were both really horrible people. They were selfish and lazy and cruel, and right from the beginning, they started beating poor James for almost no reason at all. They never called him by his real name, but always referred to him as, "You disgusting little beast," or "You filthy nuisance," or "You miserable creature." And they certainly never gave him any toys to play with or any picture books to look at. His room was bare as a prison cell. They lived, Aunt Sponge, Aunt Spiker, and now James as well, in a weird ramshackle house on top of a high hill in the south of England. The hill was so high that from almost anywhere in the garden, James could look down and see for miles and miles across a marvelous landscape of woods and fields. And on a very clear day, if he looked in the right direction, he could see a tiny gray dot far away on the horizon, which was the house that he used to live in with his beloved mother and father. And just beyond that, he could see the ocean itself, a long, thin streak of blackish blue, like a line of ink beneath the rim of the sky. So you can kind of see here, this is the weird ramshackle house at the very top of this hill, very far away. But James was never allowed to go down off the top of that hill. Neither Aunt Sponge nor Aunt Spiker could ever be bothered to take him out herself, not even for a small walk or a picnic. And he certainly wasn't permitted to go alone. "The nasty little beast will only get into mischief if he goes out of the garden," Aunt Spiker had said. And terrible punishments were promised him, such as being locked up in the cellar with the rats for a week if he even so much as dared climb over the fence. The garden, which covered the whole top of the hill, was large and desolate, and the only tree in the entire place, apart from a clump of dirty old laurel bushes at the far end, was an ancient peach tree that never gave any peaches. There was no swing, no seesaw, no sand pit, and no other children were ever invited to come up the hill to play with poor James. There wasn't so much as a dog or a cat around to keep him company. As time went on, he became sadder and more lonely, and he used to spend hours every day standing at the bottom of the garden, gazing wistfully at the lovely but forbidden world of woods and fields and ocean that was spread out below him like a magic carpet. And that's the end of the first chapter. Thank you so much for watching today's storytelling with Scotty. I hope you have a wonderful evening, or morning, or lunchtime, or dinner, or whatever time of day it is with you. And we'll be back with chapter 2 very soon. Bye.